Whoops.
Welcome to the Gamers Inn. Come on in, pull up a chair next to the fire. It looks like you've had a long journey. I'm your host Jocelyn, and joining me as always is my co-host Ryan. Hi Ryan.
Hello. How's it going? Friday.
Not too bad. How are you this fine Friday evening?
Pretty damn good. This week went fast.
It went really, really fast. It was crazy. Oh my god. And I've worked the last 3 days. I'm so tired. It was crazy today, but we're here. We're doing the show. I'm super excited. And do you know what's got me really, really excited?
What's that?
I have a Gamers Inn mug.
What?
I don't know if you actually saw it on Instagram. Joel just posted a picture, but yes, I got Gamers Inn mugs for Christmas from my mom because she's awesome. So yes, I have a mug with my logo on it that may or may not have a beverage in it.
There it is. There is some form of liquid inside the mug, I can confirm.
There is, yes.
So you'll be able to order these on the Gamers Inn website when, Jocelyn?
I have no idea. I don't even know. I have to check with her and find out where she got them. But yeah, if there's interest, I'm sure we can make some more.
Oh, we could start like an official newscast and have mugs with coffee in them with our logos on them. It'll be just
No,
like
it's Friday night.
news.
It's definitely not coffee.
It could be coffee with, well, what's in it? Pop?
No. It is a lovely IPA from Propeller Brewery.
Okay. Again, like I have to reference my documents here, the A-Move brochure, and I'm pretty sure this is supposed to be a PG show, meaning no alcoholic beverages.
You totally gave it away. Maybe IPA stands for impressive something that means hot chocolate.
Improper personal assistant. I don't know.
I don't know. We should
2 weeks. We made it 2 weeks, folks.
2 weeks. So I guess that pretty much leads us to what we're playing, I guess.
Not really, but it
no,
should.
but it should. So Ryan, what were you playing this week?
Oh, what was I playing? I was playing my Wii U.
I feel like that's a lie.
It wasn't, because I've been playing a little title called Little Inferno, and this is not a Wii U exclusive, unfortunately. It's actually on PC as well. I picked it up over the holidays, and it's a fairly new game. It launched with the Wii U, and it actually went on sale on the eShop. It was like $5 off, and it's also $5 off on Steam, so it's $10. And it's made by the guys who did World of Goo. Have you ever played World of Goo?
I haven't. I think wasn't it part of a Humble Bundle or something? I think I have it. I just I haven't played it.
Well, you should, because it's fantastic. And you know what? If there's ever a reason to dust off your Wii, or Joel has an iPad now.
He does.
What?
Nothing.
What's so funny? Did I say something
dusting
that
off your
would have been
Wii?
funny 6 years ago? Or are we past that now? What are we, children?
Yeah, I'm actually a 12-year-old.
Oh, so that's why you're drinking IPAs.
Yes.
Yeah, no, I would suggest downloading that post-haste on Joel's iPad, because that's probably... Yeah, you should both play it, because it's a fantastic game. It's available on a lot of platforms, but we're not here to talk about World of Goo.
No,
World
we
of
are
Goo
not.
had its chance. Until next week, when Jocelyn plays World of Goo. And
Then we'll talk about World of Goo.
Exactly. Anyways, Little Inferno. It's basically like a virtual fireplace. You know, like the Yule Log channel?
Yes.
Okay, so it's kind of like the Yule Log channel, but instead of boring old fire, you get to actually throw things in the fire and make fire by like touching the screen with the touchpad. So it's on the gamepad. And the gamepad really doesn't offer any sort of unique function besides the touch. It's basically just a duplication of what's on the screen.
Mm-hmm.
So that's kind of unfortunate. I was kind of hoping maybe there would be some sort of like inventory management on the screen to manipulate what's on the TV. But unfortunately, that's not the case. What?
Nothing. Your experiences with the Wii U and with Nintendo are just fabulous.
They're just, aw, he doesn't realize how much Nintendo sucks yet. give me.
But you're getting there. You're so close.
But that's the thing, is that this title is not really like it would play the same way on the PC, and I would recommend checking it out. But I haven't really explained the awesome part about it. Like I said, you get to burn things in this fire, and it's, if you've played World of Goo, you know that it's really quirky, and this game is no different. There's like weird interactions with characters. Like you have a neighbor who's also burning things, and she occasionally sends you letters, and they're really weird and kind of creepy. And occasionally, the reason you find out she's your neighbor is because she literally bangs on the wall and threatens to come over there and burn stuff in your fire. It's really weird. But the way you progress through the game is you're given these catalogs to order items, and then you burn those items. So you pay money to order items just to burn them in your fireplace to keep warm. And then when things burn, you're given more money than what was spent. So kind of the opposite of what happens in real life. Because when you burn, well, unless insurance, I guess. But the Gamers Inn does not condone insurance fraud.
Burning things.
Or burning things, for that matter. Slamming controllers, different story.
Different story.
But burning things, no. But yeah, you progress through and you unlock, I think, 6 catalogs to order a bunch of different items. So it starts off with like picture frames and wooden blocks, like really boring stuff. And then the quirkiness happens, and that's based around the fact that it's sort of, the achievement system is like a combo-based style, and you're given a list of achievements, and then the amount of items required to get that combo. So one of these combos is called Cat Lady, and the way you achieve that is by burning a cat plushie and an old grandma.
Is the grandma a plushie too?
Not that I can tell. It's a real grandma. Like,
what game are you playing, dude?
Like I said, it's a very cartoony, sort of quirky title. I like, it's weird. Like, you'll throw the grandma in there, and she'll be like old and making sounds, and then the cat plushie, you throw him in there, and he's like obviously making cute cat sounds, and with your touchpad, you kind of just hover over the items, and you light a little fire, and then they go on fire, and it's really weird. Again, this is one of those titles, I'm explaining it, and I sound a lot worse than I actually am.
You sound kind of like a psychopath.
Exactly. I don't know what's wrong.
Then I set my grandma on fire, and then I set her cat on fire.
Yeah, maybe I picked the wrong, like, sort of combo to use as an example, but they're all kind of like that. Like, there's like a bad tooth combo, and it's basically you have to look through the catalogs and look at the icons of the items you can order and say, okay, that plushy bunny has like messed up teeth, and then this like old grandpa has messed up teeth. It's really weird. It's super weird. And there's the only
worth
point of
the
game,
$5 though? Or sorry, worth the, what is it, 10?
Yeah, yes and no. Yes, because I'm really enjoying it, and it's just a small title to kind of play, get in, get out, and it's not, it's not stressful. You just quick play. But it's almost like 10 is just a little bit too much, because there really isn't a lot of depth to the game. Mm-hmm. And you kind of have to get into it a bit before it starts to get going. But yeah, no, I'd say for $10, especially on the Wii U, if you're looking for a small title to break up the bigger games you're playing, I think it's a good choice. And I don't know, just check it out on YouTube or something and see if you dig it. It's just a real like relaxing game, I guess, because there's no real like stress. There's no like goals you have to accomplish right away. Like, you can literally buy a bunch of grandmas and light them on fire, and there's like no repercussions to that. Whereas in the real world,
that would be a bad thing.
You would probably go to jail, probably. But well, yeah, you'd go to jail. I think about that more. So yeah, that's Little Inferno, and it's on Steam. It's available on Windows, PC, Linux, and Wii U. But considering it's an indie title, it'll probably end up on Humble Bundle at some point in the near future.
Probably.
So if you hold off, I'm sure you'll have 6 copies of it by this time next year.
Nice.
Story of my life.
So I picked up over the holidays. I don't know if we talked about it or not, because I don't usually talk about it on this show, because I actually do an entire Call of Duty show. So I did pick up, and I was playing COD Blops 2. Call of Duty Black Ops 2. I get in trouble for calling it COD Blops a lot.
COD Blops.
I think everyone calls it COD Blops, but the BMAT on Twitter, who is also Old Man Franks from the instance, he hates it a lot. So I kind of say it just to piss him off now.
But he realizes that by him saying he hates it, we just do it more.
Makes me do it more.
So we'll talk with the Old Man Frank's voice, because that's...
Yeah, the best thing ever. So anyways, I was playing it, and actually I played the campaign, and I had to turn off the explicit content, because at first, it pops up at first, and it's like, okay, do you enable explicit content? And I was like, yeah, sure, whatever, I can handle it. And then the first mission is you're thrown into Africa in the 70s, and I can't remember what country it is, but it's basically a civil war. And you're on this one dude's side, and I'm pretty sure he's the freedom fighters, but they don't give you any context. And you go up against all of these guys wearing nothing but wife beaters. And yes, they have guns, and yes, they are shooting at you, but you are literally mowing down as they're running away from you. You're on this, like, tank thing. They're running away from you through a field, and you're, like, mowing them down. And you don't have a choice. If you don't do this... And it's, like, super gory and super bloody. And if you don't do it, you can't progress. And I was just like, this feels really wrong, and I'm not being given any context right now. And I felt really weird about it. And Clark, my co-host on the Call of Duty show, said the exact same thing about the opening scene, the opening level of the whole campaign. And he's been in the army for 10 years, and, he's pretty hardcore about a lot of things, and he said that level, same thing, like, just over the top bad. So after that, I turned off the explicit content, because I was just like, you know what, I don't need to see that. Like, I have no problem with gore. I have no problem with gore in, like, fantasy games, but Call of Duty is just so realistic, it's a little bit too much. So the only problem I have with this explicit content turning off thing is it turns off the language. So it bleeps out everything, even like ass or crap.
It bleeps it out?
It doesn't bleep, it just goes blank. So it's like,
man,
China.
Missed opportunity.
Like, it's incredible. Like, you don't even understand the story because most of the cutscene is just silent as he's like mouthing these things. So I had no idea what was going on, and there's no way to say, turn down the gore a little, but, like, the language is fine. It's, like, all or nothing. So I have no idea what's going on in Call of Duty right now because you don't even know what the story is without the swearing. So...
Okay, so what I missed by a missed opportunity here, like, I think what they could have done with it, rather than just silencing out, they should have done what they do for TV, where they completely redub parts like that.
I thought that's what they were going to do, and I was so psyched.
It's like, we need to get to the flipping truck so the monkeys can get off the flip, flap, blip. Like, I'm trying to think, I think, like, Snakes on the Plane is a good one. We need to get these mother flipping snakes off this mother uffing plane. I can't remember.
You're so bad at this game.
Yeah, I know. But people understand what I'm saying.
Yep. Yeah. So, anyways, I was playing Call of Duty, and it was pretty good. I am really enjoying the campaign. It's very, very interesting. Like, the story flips you between, like, the 70s and 80s and then, like, the future. So you're playing as the dude's son in 2025, and the tech is really cool, almost to the point that it's sci-fi, but it's not so far-fetched as to be, like, crazy. So I'm enjoying it. So I don't want to get too much into it because, I do the other show all about Call of Duty, so I'm pretty much repeating myself. But I thought it was really, really funny that it was so all or nothing with the explicit content. So what else have you been playing this week?
I've been playing, speaking of explicit content, I'm playing Assassin's Creed 3 on the Wii U as well. And yeah, that game is pretty graphic. Like, they've added this new, like, you've played a bit of Assassin's Creed, and the counter system, when you're just, like, chopping at dudes, it's nothing special. And even when you actually do get the kill shot when you're doing that, It's just you slice him and he's down. But when you counter in that game, like your character just does the wildest things to people, and it's I shouldn't look this excited. Like it just does the wildest things, you know. And in this one, it's no different. But I think they've ramped it up in the sense that you can counter two guys at once. So when these British are coming at you, you know the British are coming. They got two big guns with bayonets on them, and they're both. You see the little blip over their head that they're attacking at the same time. And you tap A, and it goes into this cinematic where you grab the one guy's gun, pull it over, and shove it into the other British guy, and then his gun goes off. You dodge it, shoots the other guy, and then you take a tomahawk and just. And that's probably like the calmest one I could think of. So there's that, but also a lot of people were complaining about this game. Like, a lot of people don't hate the game, but they're disappointed in this title.
I heard that, which was disappointing to me because, like I said, I got all the Assassin's Creed content heading up to 3, and I haven't purchased and played 3 yet because I'm still playing through the old stuff. But I'm loving it. It's so much better. So I don't know. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, and playing this game, I like it, which leads me to believe, or not believe, but just start to understand that maybe I'm an apologetic gamer. Like I
Maybe?
like things too
You
much.
think?
But really, is there something wrong with that? Besides having no time to actually finish things because I just like everything. But if I'm enjoying myself, that's important, right?
That's true. It is very important that you like what you're doing.
Yeah. So I mean, that being said, I wanted to get that off my chest because I was thinking about it. It's like people are just hating this game, and I'm kind of enjoying it. But the reason I bring that up is because one of the main points that people hated was that it took 8 hours to get to the actual main character. Like you play.
Wait, what?
Yeah. Okay, so it takes 8 hours to get to the main character. However, in the other games, you were always playing as the main character. Like Ezio sort of quickly transitions into the assassin in 2, and then in Brotherhood and Revelations, you're already the assassin.
Right.
So in this one, it's like a complete reset. You're starting from scratch. You're not even born when you start the game. You're playing as your father, which isn't really a spoiler because I think they tell you that at the very beginning. Now, there are spoilers. There's a pretty big revelation during the prologue, and that is in no relation to the Revelations.
Assassin's Creed Revelations. Okay.
All I'm saying is that I'm not going to spoil it, obviously, but it's in the first, 2 hours, and it's like, it gets you pumped for the game. Like, yeah, this is awesome. Oh my God, I did not see that coming.
And then you have to wait another 6 hours before you even start to play with your assassin character?
Yeah, like you
That kind
play
of
as,
sucks.
yeah, you play as your father, and then you play as yourself as a boy, and then you play as yourself as a teenager. Then you play yourself as sort of this adolescent who's still in training, and then eventually the story opens up and the world opens up, and you play as Connor.
I can't get over the fact that takes 8 hours to do all of that. Like, is it because you're bad at the game that it took you that long to get through that
Nope.
content, or it's
No.
just there's that much pre-roll?
Well, it's not that I'm bad, but it's an open world game right from the beginning. When you're playing as your father, Hatham, the whole world is open to you. You can go sync viewpoints, you can do missions, you can chase after almanac pages floating around.
Are they
Technical.
literally floating?
Yeah, no, you see them on your map, and once you actually get to them, they start floating away, and you have to run after them. It's very majestic. I mean, the 2 years it took to make this game, they probably spent a good year and a half on paper
Animating pages.
Yeah, and so I mean that was kind of a bummer, but I once it opened up, I'm totally fine with it. But I find that the main story is kind of I'm not
Meh.
really into it. It's not meh. It's a little better than meh. Yeah, it's okay.
Meh plus?
Meh plus. Thank you. Not quite a great, but it's a meh plus. So I find that I'm really digging and I always dig this about the Assassin's Creed series, the collecting stuff, the small missions. You know, you don't get this in 2, but in Brotherhood you get the assassin missions where you actually get to manage your Brotherhood. That's why they call it Brotherhood.
Imagine that.
Yeah, so they've kind of evolved that into the sense that you get story assassins. So every assassin you recruit is a story character, so they don't die. Whereas opposed in Brotherhood and in Revelations, they'll actually die or be promoted. But in this, they just faint. They're like Pokemon, and they just come back a little while later, all happy and whatnot. And you kind of just send them on missions. Currently, I have a French dude, and he's helping liberate Quebec. So, man, those Templars, they just really got Quebec by the poutine. Um, but in terms of side missions, I'm really digging. There's a set of frontier quests. They're all based around paranormal activities. So one quest was like investigating killer wolves, so like werewolves, and another
Okay.
quest was yetis, and one quest was even like a sea monster. Now I've only finished one of those side quests, and it was the sea monster one. And it's like paranormal activities, but it always turns out to be it's some guy in a suit. So I am hoping.
Every time?
Well, so far the sea monster was just some guy's diving equipment, and he had passed away, and that's why they haven't seen the monster since because the guy's dead and he's not out in his diving equipment. I'm really, really hoping that when I find the Yeti, I pull his mask off, and then he mentions something about I would have gotten away with it if we were you stinking assassins. That'd be fantastic, I think. But
That's awesome.
like I said, I'm the main quest is kind of neat because I mean you're doing American history stuff, and I find being a Canadian, I
American history is really cool compared to our history.
it's fascinating.
It
And
is.
I mean, if you got one thing going for you guys, you Americans, is that your history is pretty cool. I don't. Now that being said, there are Canadians in this because, you know, I guess you could say some of the British in the game would be considered Canadians at some point. The French, the first assassin you get is pretty much a Canadian.
Hmm.
So I think that's pretty cool. He's a French Canadian, but I mean, close enough.
Close enough.
Sorry, Val. I'm joking. I'm joking. But yeah, I'm enjoying it, and if I talk about the game again, it'll either be I beat it and I loved it, or I beat it and I understand why everybody hates it.
Aw. Well, I really hope you love it because if you understand why everyone hates it, then I'm not going to want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
Uh, Hearing the story goes in directions that aren't quite as
Hmm.
it feels rushed, I guess, which
Right.
sort of just seems like the story of 2012. So, really hoping that's not the case.
Yeah, true. So, one last thing in what we're playing is what I've been playing, and I have some very exciting news, people. I beat Joel in StarCraft 2!
Whoa.
It took like, I think altogether, I feel like we probably played about 10-ish matches, and I finally beat him. But like, actually beat him, like wiped him off the face of the earth. I was Terran, he was Protoss, and it made me feel really good about my life.
So, how much of a hard time did you give him before you won, which would make
See,
him
I was
throw
a
the game?
I was a very, very gracious winner because he beat me so many times before, and I was like, I was kind of frustrated, but he kept being like, "Oh, can I help you? Can I, this?" And I was like, "No, I have to learn. You have to stomp me into the ground, or I'm never gonna learn." And he was like, "Okay." So yeah, no, it was close. It was a really
Right.
close match, but in the end, he came at me with all his Protoss dudes, and I just ended up having like one siege tank and then one something else left, and then I just went back at him right away, and I was just like, haha, my one tank is gonna slowly hammer away and kill all your things. And I did, and I was
Siege
very
tanks are
happy.
the best. Man, siege tanks.
I
Aren't they
saved the
great?
replay too!
Oh, snap.
Which I may never actually post. We shall see.
Depends if Joel does something that you have it over his head. Like,
Yeah.
okay. So, have you played any of the single player campaign?
I still have only played the first mission. I'm trying to learn by playing the multiplayer because I feel like that's what I'm going to end up doing more of anyway, because I love the game. Like, I absolutely I love it so much that Joel and I are going to go buy Warcraft 3 so we can play the Warcraft, like, RTS. Because
Nice.
I love StarCraft 2. It's awesome. And we're finding that when we're playing WoW, we're missing a lot of the story because like they assume that you know, and rightfully so, but they assume that you know all of the backstory, like who the Burning Legion are, who, you know, all of these main, like, Garrosh Hellscream and, you know, the main human guy and, you know, all of these things. They assume that you know all backstory, and we don't. So they just say things like, oh, you have to go this because the Burning Legion's coming. And we're like, the who and the what now is doing, huh? So...
Sounds like a Mad Lib for a porno. The who and the what is doing who? Like, I don't know. Well, that's good because it's funny you mentioned that because I just picked up the Warcraft 3 battle chest for my brother. But
oh, really?
I love Warcraft 3. It's so great. That was my first RTS that I really got into. So, and the story is fantastic, and it makes perfect sense that you would want to go play that because. You just started Burning Crusade, right?
Yes.
The expansion, and that's sort of where they continue Warcraft 3. Like the original WoW, I mean, before Cataclysm especially, was just sort of its own story with a little bit of like callback, except for Thrall. That was a huge callback to Warcraft 3. But Burning Crusade is literally a continuation of the first
Warcraft 3 story, yeah.
And then Frozen Throne continues in
Lich King.
Yeah, exactly.
So the thing with the reason that all of this kind of story lore came about is because we didn't really understand why we were fighting Blood Elves. Because we're like Joel and I play Blood Elves. So we kind of just missed that story and like who this prince guy was. And we got a little bit of it at Shatrath when they're talking about like the Blood Elves that came and became the Scryers because they, you know, wanted to worship the god at Shatrath or whatever. So we understood where they came from, that they were like coming to take over the city and then ended up incorporating themselves into the city. So we got that, but we didn't know who sent them and why. And we're like, well, why are we now fighting the Blood Elves for Blood Elves? Like we were so confused of like all of the Blood Elves that are going on in Burning Crusade. And we just got no kind of story whatsoever, and I kind of spoiled some stuff because I googled it to try to figure it out. So I mean, I spoiled some of Burning Crusade for myself, which sucks, but at the same time now I understand what's going on a little better, so I think I'm going to enjoy the telling of the story more. But it's been a lot of fun though.
Well, I mean, the Burning Crusade ends with a doctor's visit. I mean, that's usually how it ends.
With a what?
A doctor's visit, like an appointment at the doctor. You're best to get that checked out. Again, like 5-year-old joke.
I was like, I don't understand what's happening.
If you're playing Burning Crusade now, I'm allowed to use that joke. Burning Crusade, some sort of P disease. All right, never mind.
I totally didn't get that at all. I was like,
really?
What the hell are you talking about?
You're too late to the crowd, and I know there's got to be. I'm sure Greg in the chat knows what I'm talking about. Not because of the Burning P, but because of the Burning Crusade.
The Burning Crusade jokes. Yeah.
Yes, exactly. Well, that's great. I'm glad you're getting your lore in for
Warcraft. We're so super excited about just playing StarCraft, playing Warcraft, and just Blizzard games in general. Got me really excited right now, which I know I'm so late to that game, but I don't even care. They're awesome.
Well, you know, you've got you're gonna pick up StarCraft 2 Heart of the Swarm?
Definitely.
When it comes out
as soon as it comes out, yeah.
I actually have the beta for that. I should try it. So
you have the beta and you haven't even tried it yet?
Yeah, I saw it on Twitter that I think it's Randy Deluxe, but his Blizzard Twitter account for his community service. You know what I mean. Anyways, he was tweeting if someone wanted in, and I sent him a message, and he gave me a code. I'm probably going to try it this weekend.
Nice.
But again, I'm not a big multiplayer guy, so we'll see how that works.
Yeah.
I'll probably get my ass kicked.
That's okay. We can play together, and then we'll just have like hour-long matches where nobody wins. It'll be fantastic.
I am really looking forward to getting back into an RTS because I had so much fun when StarCraft 2 first came out and just playing with friends and doing the ladders and stuff. Looking forward to it. March can't come fast enough.
You know why my Blizzard games are so awesome on PC? Because I bought my Doghouse system, which is fantastic. So if you want to be just like me, Then use the code TheGamersIn when ordering your brand spanking new Doghouse to show your love of all things TGI. Big thanks to Doghouse for their continued support of our show, which brings us to Quickfire News.
Indeed. Cyberpunk 2033 gets a teaser trailer. CD Projekt Red is doing very well. So well, in fact, that they have 2 teams working on 2 major RPGs. One of those titles got a teaser this week, which is why we're talking about it. And while featuring no actual gameplay, it still looks pretty badass. The developer is using the teaser as a target render, and considering how awesome the visuals look, let's hope they hit it. The teaser leaves us with one clear message: the game is out when it's done. However, CD Projekt Red hid a few more details in the teaser, one being that we shouldn't expect Cyberpunk 2033 until at least 2015, which seems really far away. And second, that the developer will start talking about its other title on February 5th. It also noted the second title is much closer to completion, and fans should be able to guess what it is. Perhaps we can look forward to The Witcher 3 very soon. Maybe.
The Secret World activity rose 400%. 70,000 new copies have been sold in the last 4 weeks, with activity in the game rising 400% since the MMO switched to free-to-play. Funcom is calling the Switch a successful relaunch of the title, which originally launched in the summer with a monthly subscription model. Even though free-to-play seems to be the way MMOs are headed, it's highly unlikely that Blizzard will ever make WoW free-to-play, since they just make so much money. Which is too bad, because I could sure use that $15 a month.
Possible tease for Fallout 4. Eric Todd Dellums, the voice actor behind Three Dog. If I could remember what he said on the radio thing, I would totally imitate it, but I can't remember. It was so long ago. The radio DJ you heard a lot while exploring the wastelands of Fallout 3 has been tweeting sanctioned teases for what could possibly be Fallout 4. To all my Fallout 3 and Three Dog fans, there may be more of the dog coming. And no, Jocelyn, I am not going to read hashtag before I say things like that.
Damn.
Coupled with last year's rumors that claimed Fallout 4 would be set in the U.S. city of Boston, we may be getting yet another open world epic from Bethesda. Just think, this could even possibly be a launch title for the next Xbox and PlayStation.
Ooh, who knows? Blizzard's Cinder Kitten raised over $2.3 million for Sandy relief. Blizzard donated the impressive total to the American Red Cross to go towards relief efforts in the wake of Hurricane Sandy. It was announced in November, that every Cinder Kitten pet sold to the end of December 31st, 2012 would go towards a donation. Blizzard also ran a similar fundraiser in 2011 with the Cenarian hatchling to benefit victims of Japan's massive earthquake and tsunami disaster. Yay, Blizzard.
And that's why they'll never go free to play, because they can make millions off of a digital
Off of a pet, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. THQ may be sold piece by piece. Maybe. Last we saw THQ, they were filing for bankruptcy, and Clear Lake Capital Group was paying $60 million to resurrect them. Then a judge ruled that this wasn't a fair move for shareholders. Oh no, we can probably get more money by selling the studio and franchises piece by piece. So, still following here. Okay, now THQ has confirmed its assets will only be purchased a la carte if individual offers exceed a whole buyout.
Ryan does talking.
Yeah, I'm trying my darndest. That buyout offer now being the original $60 million plus an extra $10 million going to creditors. Interested buyers include EA and Warner Brothers, no doubt after big tentpole franchises like Saints Row or Darksiders. A recent addition to interested buyers is Tim Schafer's Double Fine, possibly after smaller franchises like The Blob. Either way, we'll know the fate of THQ on January 24th.
Terra goes free-to-play 9 months after launch. This February, the MMO Terra will be going to free-to-play, kind of. There will still be a subscription option costing $14.99 a month. The free version won't have any class or race restrictions, but will mean you can only have 2 character spots on a server, as well as limited bank spots. I believe it's 72. There is the option to purchase more, of course. Elite, or subscription players, do get dungeon cooldown bonuses. There's no exact date that has been announced, although the month of February has been confirmed.
Cool. All right, even better news. Pokemon X and Y coming to 3DS this fall.
This made my news list as well, so
Whoa.
just so you know.
Yeah, I'm not a big Pokemon fan, so I haven't played them in a while, but I digress. Pokemon makes Nintendo big money, which always confuses gamers and critics that they're always late to the party on new platforms. In typical fashion, the new games will be arriving almost 2.5 years since the 3DS launch. That's crazy. Anyways, this will be the first 3D addition to the main franchise and will take advantage of many 3DS features like Street Pass, Wi-Fi network, and of course 3D. However, the best news for Pokemon fans is that the titles will launch around the same time across the globe, making this the first release of a Pokemon game where North American gamers don't have to wait up to a year to play after the Japanese release.
GameStick has its Kickstarter campaign removed. A DMCA claim had a Kickstarter project for the GameStick, which is an Android-based HD console, pulled from the site for a few hours. Messages went out to the backers of the Kickstarter telling them a DMCA claim was being investigated, and if the claim was legitimate, that the project would be permanently banned from Kickstarter. A few hours later, it was reinstated, saying the investigation was complete, which, holy crap, fast. Anyways, the project was back online, but it will be interesting to see if this project will be able to meet its stretch goals or if this move by Kickstarter was enough to scare off potential backers. And that brings us to our topic of the week. Speaking of scaring customers. So, a few days ago on Twitter, I was talking about EA and their Origin service. And I'm going to try to not get ranty because there's
I'll put on my listening face.
I have a tendency to get ranty, and I realize that about myself. So I'm just going to get this out of the way. But I'm going to start by admitting I was wrong. I made a mistake, which is why I had to talk to customer service in the first place. So I had my normal Gmail account. I'm trying not to give out too much information here, but I have my normal Gmail account. And then I have a Hotmail account, which I use for stupid spam because I don't like Hotmail. So whenever I have to sign up for services I don't think I'm going to use, I use my Hotmail account because then they can spam me with mail and I don't even care. So I had my Gmail account that I had used years and years and years ago when I first bought The Sims 3, and you had to register the game with EA. Well, when Origin came out, then they rolled them into Origin accounts. Fine. So then when I bought Mass Effect 3 this year, you had to sign in with an Origin account. And I was just like, okay. So I signed in with my Hotmail account because that's what you have to use on the Xbox, right? Because it's a whole Windows Live, Xbox, Microsoft experience. So I had my Hotmail account registered with Origin. I had my Gmail account registered with Origin. And then I made a purchase on Origin because I totally forgot I had the Gmail Origin account. And I bought a whole bunch of expansions for The Sims 3 when they had a huge sale in the summer. So I realized this when I got my new computer and went to install all my games, and I was like, oh dear, my stuff is on 2 different accounts. I want to merge these together. That's why I started talking to customer service. That's not the problem. The problem is that when I was talking to customer service, the only security thing they asked me for was my email and the birthday tied to my account. So here's where the problem came in, because my Hotmail account, for whatever reason, does not, like, my birthday doesn't match. But there is nowhere that you can view your birthday, change your birthday. Customer service cannot view your birthday. They literally just punch in whatever you tell them on their online chat, and then it spits out whether that matches your account or not. So if it doesn't match, there's nothing they can do to help you. But the really, really big issue here is that they were willing to make changes to my Origin account with just my email and my birthday. Do you know who knows my email and my birthday? Everyone. Like, I cannot, there are no security questions. There's nothing. And even though I had access to both accounts, I have my emails and passwords and everything works and I can log in and do whatever the hell I want. I can buy a bazillion EA games if I wanted to. They will not let me make changes to my account through customer service because for whether it's a database error on their side or an entry error on my side, there's no way to look at this from anyone or change it or anything. It's insane. I
That's
can't.
crazy.
It is so crazy.
It boggles my mind, and I mean, yeah, you'd think there'd be a way to get in there, especially as you personally logged into your account. Like that's the insane thing is that it's too bad you couldn't just copy and paste your password into the EA chat and see, here's my password. Just merge the accounts.
But that's
like
the
I have
thing.
the password.
You can screenshot the crap out of it and send it to them and say, "See, I obviously have access to my account. Like, help me." And they will not help you if your birthday doesn't match. And I was just like, that is the most insecure thing ever. Ever.
It makes no sense. It boggles my mind because you'd think there'd be a way to get in there and okay, like usually when it comes to your profile online, any website, if there is a field that is related to the emergency access to your account, you should be able to change it, mainly because if you mess it up, or if you
Which
need to
I
change it
think
because, say, it asks you, your secret question is, I'm trying to think of something that would,
Your first grade teacher.
yeah, or, your first grade teacher, and then your first grade teacher passes away, God forbid, and that just brings up awful memories. You want to change your secret password, you should be able to get in there and change your secret question.
But
right?
yeah, the thing with Origin, like I said, is there are no secret questions. Your secret question is your birthday, which is, in the age of Facebook, ridiculous. So,
Yeah.
and even Facebook aside, like, even assuming my friends aren't going to hack me, because my profile on Facebook is fairly locked down, or it used to be. I don't know, they change privacy all the time, but it used to be you couldn't even find me in search, right? Like, I was very, very locked down on Facebook. But, I mean, like, Twitter. I'm very active on Twitter. I love Twitter. And there are quite a lot of people on my birthday who wish me happy birthday. So everybody knows when my birthday is. This is not a secret. This should not be your secret security question. And yet they're locking it down in this, like, unviewable database by anyone.
Right.
As if it's this huge, ginormous secret. It's probably more locked down than my freaking password. Like, who does that? And then, like, in comparison, I had an absolutely phenomenal experience with Blizzard yesterday. Because my iPhone 5 that I bought, like, a week and a half ago had a crack in it. Like, out of the box, had a crack in it. So I took it back to Apple. They replaced it in 10 minutes. And the guy's like, do you have anything on here that you don't want to lose? And I'm like, no, I'm synced with iCloud. Like, it's not a big deal. I've only had the phone for a week, so I might have to re-download like 2 apps or something. But, whatever, wipe it. I wasn't thinking that, like, the 2 apps that I had were the Armory and the Authenticator.
Yeah, and that's tied to your hardware.
Yeah, so I couldn't do anything because I had deleted my Authenticator, right? I didn't even have the same device, like the same iPhone.
You didn't write down your restore code, Jocelyn?
I did not write down I didn't even know restore code was a thing. So I emailed, I didn't even have to email. It was so easy. I didn't even have to log into the Blizzard to battle.net because I couldn't, because I didn't have an authenticator. But, so I went in and I put a support ticket in and I sent them like my account email and everything else. And I just said, I lost my authenticator, and then it pops up. As soon as you say, like, lost or whatever authenticator, it gives you a form to fill out. You take a picture of your ID, and you send it to them, and it's done. Like, the dude emailed me back, like, 12 hours later and was like, okay, we removed your authenticator, and then apologized to me because the process was so hard. And I was just like, I did it in 5 minutes. Like, you made me send my ID to prove I was the owner of the account, and like you had a solution for me. It was secure. It was fine. Like, this is go Blizzard. And yet EA is like, oh no, your birthday, it's a secret.
I was gonna call you on it in terms of like proving yourself to Blizzard, and you mentioned they're still doing this scanning your ID because that's awesome because I had to do that like 3 years ago when my account got hacked, and I thought that was kind of half amazing and half ridiculous that I had to fax them my driver's license.
See, but for me, I just took a picture of my driver's license with my iPhone, emailed it to myself, and then attached it to the form online because it's one of those click, browse, attach photo type things.
Right.
So it was like, it literally took me 5 minutes. It was the easiest thing ever. And I had my account, like my authenticator removed and my account's ready to use. And it was 12 hours later. And I mean, I emailed them at like 10 o'clock last night when I got home from work. So, you know, stupid easy, but really secure. Like the fact that they have an authenticator. Hey, EA, Origin, use an authenticator. It's not the end of the world. It's a freaking app on my iPhone. Like, you don't even have to give me hardware. Do you know what's more secure than my birthday? An authenticator. They even have a name for it.
Well, you mentioned
Sorry, not
authenticator
ranty.
and EA, and you're going to love this because EA's hit title SWTOR. You may remember it.
I haven't tried it yet, by the way.
Is it still in the shrink wrap, or has it made its way out?
It's still in the shrink wrap.
You sure it's still not clawing? The disc is like poking through. I was going to say that I got a new phone, and my authenticator is on my iPhone 4, and whenever I try to log in, I have to turn it on, and it's like, you have 60 billion new emails, and also a bunch of people tweeted you, and these amount of apps went on free. Anyways, and you can't remove an authenticator from your phone, like from your account. You have to do that by calling in. You can't do it manually, right? So I just use my iPhone 4, right? But I want to move it to my iPhone 5 because that's what I'm using every day, right? So it's just ridiculous. Like I have to call in to remove the authenticator and then re-add it. Like there's no way
They
to
don't
fix
even
that.
have an option like that anymore. You cannot do stuff with EA except in their online chat. There's no like
really?
1-800 number. There's no email address. Their forums and frequently asked questions is a joke. Like, it's unbelievable. It makes me so angry. I know I was trying not to get ranty, but like, so in the end, and this is why I say it could be a database error on their part, is because I went to install The Sims 3, which was my second problem, and it wouldn't work. And I had to send him a screenshot of my account because he's like, oh, that's not a serial code for The Sims 3. I was like, yes, it is. It's the one I registered with Origin. It's in my account right here. It worked like 2 days ago. It just doesn't work on my new computer. And I had to send him a screenshot of my account so you can see my account name. And then there's a picture of The Sims 3, and then it says product key. And then the product key is there. And I was like, I literally copied and pasted right out of Origin. And he's like, oh, well, I sent you a new one. I was like, yeah, you think? Like, just... God damn it, Origin. You can't store anything properly.
So, you know what you should have done? The next step would have been he was going to ask you to take a picture of yourself holding today's newspaper.
Yeah,
and then
really.
maybe he would have merged your accounts. I think that was the next step.
I mean, he's a customer service person. He was clearly copying and pasting stuff into the chat. Like, he wasn't actually answering my questions or listening to what I was saying. And I did get a little bit angry. And at one point, I literally said, I'm like, okay, so should I just come back on every day and guess a different birthday until you tell me that, yes, that's the birthday that's tied to my account? Would that work? And he was just like, he just didn't answer me. And I was like, well,
These
really?
poor people. You're right. Like, what else can you do?
Well,
like, he's basically telling you that's your only option.
Well, and see, that's the thing, is he didn't give me any options. He said to me, I'm just rage. He said to me that I should leave the chat, take some time to recall the details, and get back to him when I remembered what my birthday was.
Oh, my God.
I'm just like, dude.
So stupid.
Like, I know when my birthday is. It's been the same for the last 28 years. Like,
Huh. Well, I think I know a way to cheer you up, and that's the fact that the chat room's been talking about their first grade teachers for, like, the last 20 minutes.
oh, really?
You mentioned first grade teachers, and it's just like, my first grade teacher was this. Oh, my second grade teacher was this. My fourth grade teacher was named Mrs. Jackson, but she wasn't hot. It's just weird, guys. Can we get back on track here? Come on. Okay.
Oh, man.
But yeah, no, EA Origin, bad.
It's just-
and there's no phone you can call. Like, there's no person
No.
you can talk to.
It's all just this live chat thing. So,
Weird. Those suck. Those suck because it's so much easier for someone to be a robot.
and it really, really does. And the worst thing about it is that for most of EA titles now, you cannot use them unless you are like logged in, signed in with, or either logged into Origin or at least registered with Origin, which means that all of my game info is in my Origin account, and anyone can get into my Origin account with just my email address and my birthday. Well, not my email address and my birthday because they don't match. So, you know, maybe if everybody just tries to guess, it'll help because then I'll get my birthday faster. But like, it's so frustrating because like all that information is in this crazy insecure account that anyone can go into, take my product keys and just, you know, like it just makes me so angry that they're not letting me in and it's my account and but they'll let anybody else in that can guess my email and my birthday. Like,
so what are you gonna do? Rebuy
I don't even know.
Because it's just Sims 3 that you're missing on your new account, right?
Yeah, it's like I had, well, it's the Pirates and Nobles expansion for The Sims Medieval. And then I play it so much I can't even remember what it's for. And then it's 3 or 4 of the Sims 3 expansions. So I don't know, like it's not that much content, but it's just the principle of the thing that like that's what the thing is. Like, I'm not worried about the fact that I cannot play my games or, you know, it's going to be a pain in the ass because they don't go well together. What I'm now worried about, what the big issue is about, and what I wanted to talk about this week, because I wasn't even going to mention this. It would, like, just Jocelyn rages at Origin is not a fun topic of the week. But the reason we're talking about this is because of the security issue. Like, this is huge. Like, who does this? So,
do you have a credit card attached to the account? Like
I unattached everything. Like the only thing that is in there now is my EA titles and my product keys, which you can't remove. Like if you ever want to play the game, you have to use Origin. And you know, I know people say like, "Oh, Steam's just as bad," and blah 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 and whatever. But my Steam account, my Steam account is way more secure than this crapshoot of a service that they are calling Origin. Like, it's just unbelievable to me. I feel like I'm so angry I'm not even saying anything anymore.
Yeah, well, you are. You're making valid points, and it's funny that it's just, you know, it sucks that you've had such a bad experience with Origin. Well, I've never purchased anything through Origin besides SWTOR, but I've never had, and it's not as good as Steam. I can say that right now, and I don't have the same issue you're having. Merging accounts is its own beast. Well, but that's the
thing. Merging accounts, not a problem. The guy had no problem merging my 2 accounts. This happens all the time, apparently, where people sign up for different games with different email addresses and then go, "Oh no, we need to smoosh this all together." So that's not the problem. That's a very easy process, given that you know the birthday and the email for both accounts. And I knew one, but not the other. And so that's what the problem is. And until I recall my birthday, they won't merge my accounts. So it's not the actual account merging. That happens all the time.
It's the security that you're
It's the security that I'm really upset about. So, yeah, I don't know. And I had, but yeah, so one point that was made to me on Twitter and actually again in the chat room tonight is that, you know, like if you just buy a CD or DVD copy of a game, then you don't have to deal with Origin, which is actually not true because now, do you know what they do have a phone line for? Registering your game. So now if you buy a CD or a DVD copy of a game, it will not work if you do not register it with Origin. And if you do not have an internet connection, you have to phone EA to register your game.
Huh. Well, and it's the same on Steam, but the difference is that first off, Steam is better because it's a serial key and users are familiar with doing that. And I think Steam is installed via the installer. I've never actually bought a game and installed it, but I'm pretty sure what happens is when you buy, say, Dishonored for the PC in stores, they're talking in the chat about physical discs being better. The even better thing about buying something with Steamworks, like any Bethesda game, is that it adds it to your Steam account, and then if you lose or scratch that disc, you can just re-download it off the Steam servers.
Yeah.
Which I'm not sure if Origin works that way. I think it's it may work the same, but man, you have to call in. Like you think they'd be able to.
That's what EA has now implemented, because that's the thing. I was just like, oh, okay, because I really, really want to play SimCity, which is something that you mentioned to me when I was saying I was having all these problems with Origin. And so I looked into it because I was like, okay, I'll go buy a disc. I wanted the box anyway because it's like this brand new SimCity title. You know, I will probably get the collector's edition because the franchise just means so much to me as a gamer, right? So I'm like, I'll just get a disc. I will install the disc. I will not even register it with Origin. I will turn my internet connection off, and I will just have a happy single-player SimCity experience. But you can't do that anymore with Origin.
Wow.
Can't do it.
You know what's funny is you're gonna put your collector's edition Sim City up beside the box, your collector's edition of Zelda. Then you're gonna go to play it and realize it's just as disappointing as Zelda, and then you're gonna quit gaming forever.
It's true. It's so true.
And I hope that does not happen. I'm pretty sure Sim City is gonna be a fantastic game, but if
I think
Origin
so,
gets in
too.
the way of that,
I don't even know what to do,
unfortunate.
but I have till March to figure it out. So
just get it. You'll be fine. This merging account thing. I don't know if you were clear about this, but you can't play you can't play your Sim stuff, right? Like you can't.
you have to log in when shockingly you have to log in.
Right.
When you open the Sims 3 launcher, it asks you to log in. And so it basically like locks down a whole bunch of functionality if you don't. And you can't be logged into two different Origin accounts at the same time. So if I log into my throwaway account that has some of the expansions on it, then it kind of goes, whoa, wait a minute. Like, I see the Sims 3 is here, but it doesn't belong to you, so I'm going to throw up an error because I don't really know what's going on.
Oh, really? I was kind of hoping if all the data was on you,
Your
you have
computer
all
that it wouldn't,
installed.
yeah.
Oh man.
So it's just janky and wrong and makes me grr. So anyways, if you guys have had similar issues with Steam or Origin or other download services, Blizzard even, who knows, because not everyone can have awesome customer service reps like I got with Blizzard. So if you guys have any kind of feedback that you want to send us about internet security and downloadable content and all that fun stuff, then you can find us on the web at gamersinpodcast.com and leave a post in our forums. You can email the show at info@gamersinpodcast.com, or you can follow us on Twitter and tweet us there, because where else would you tweet us? Because tweet is a Twitter thing. You can find me, Jocelyn at
Wow,
GIS Gamer. I don't even know, just stop now. Ryan at R Murphy, and don't forget to follow the show at The Gamers Inn. You can also find the show on Facebook at facebook.com/thegamersin, and we are also on Google+. Don't forget to leave us an iTunes review, as it's the best way for our show to reach new listeners. Before we go, I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to my brother Greg for creating our awesome music. You can find him on Twitter at SoundsInfluence. We would also like to thank Joel Duggan of Starcrossed Online, who drew our Twitter avatars and created our logo. You can find him on Twitter at Joel Duggan or read his comic at starcrossedonline.com. So thanks for staying at The Gamers Inn, and remember to tune in next week.